Good morning, students. Today I am continuing with chapter number 5, and the name of the chapter is Continuity and Differentiability. This chapter play a vital role in calculus. With the help of this chapter, we will solve so many applications which are related with derivatives, and it is also very helpful during the calculation of integration also. So, first we will continue with the word continuity. In simple words, we can say a function is continuous at a given fixed point if we can draw the graph of that function around that fixed point without lifting the pen from the plane of the paper. So for a function, how can we will give the definition of continuity? A function fx is continuous at a fixed point x equals to c in such a way we can say RHL, right hand limit, equals to left hand limit equals to fx. Right hand limit means limit h approaches to 0 f x plus h, limit h approaches to 0 f x minus h equals to fx, or it can also written as limit h approaches to 0 f c plus h, limit h approaches to 0 f c minus h equals to fc, and here h is a very small quantity. If these three things are equal, then we can say function is continuous, otherwise it is not continuous, or we can say it is discontinuous. Now we will continue with some algebra of continuous function. So the next concept is algebra of continuous functions. So if I am taking two functions f and g and both are real function, then we can say these functions are continuous at real number c, then first point f plus g is continuous at x equals to c. Second point f minus g is continuous at x equals to c. Third point f dot g is also continuous at point x equals to c, or we can say f upon g is also continuous at x equals to c. So if f and g both are real functions, then we can say these are continuous at x equals to c, and these operations or with operation they are also continuous. Okay, so we are using here 4 operations. Now I am continuing with one example or question related with continuity. So the question is related with exercise 5.1, and the question is if fx equals to 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3, if x is less than equals to 2 and if x is greater than 2. So how can we say if this function is continuous or not? So we have to check basically continuity. So how can we will solve it? So first we will go with the definition of continuous. We know that given function is continuous if right hand limit, left hand limit and fx all are equal at point x equals to 2. So as you see here, x is less than equals to 2 and greater than equals to 2, so we will write here x equals to 2. So first we will continue with the right hand limit, and right hand limit can be written as limit h approaches to 0 f 2 plus h, because the value of x is 2, so it can be written as limit h approaches to 0 f 2 plus h. 2 plus h means the value of x is greater than 2, so we will go with the second function, that is 2x minus 3. It means it can be written as 2 plus h minus 3, and when we will solve it we will get 1. Now we will continue with LHL, limit h approaches to 0 f 2 minus h, limit h approaches to 0 2 minus h means we will go with the first function, because here the value of x is less than 2, so we will write here 2 minus h plus 3, so it becomes 7 when we will solve it, because the value of h is equals to 0. Now we will continue with f2. f2 means the value of x is equals to 2 and it is only possible here, so we will put the value and we can say it becomes 7. So as you see here, the value of RHL is 1, the value of LHL is 7 and the value of f2 equals to 7. It means these two are equal, but the value of RHL is different from these. So what we can say, we can say the given function, so the given function is not continuous at x equals to 2, because LHL and f2 are equal but they are not equal to RHL. If all these three are equal, then we can say it is continuous, otherwise it is not continuous or discontinuous. So with the help of this question related with 5.1, it is question number 6, we will solve so many questions which are related with the continuity. Now I am continuing with the word differentiability. So what is the meaning of differentiability? We can say a function fx is differentiable at point x equals to c if RHD equals to LHD. RHD means right hand derivative and LHD means left hand derivative. RHD can be written as limit h approaches to 0 f x plus h minus fx upon h, and LHD means limit h approaches to 0 f x minus h upon fx upon minus h. It means if these two are equal, then the function at x equals to c is differentiable, otherwise it is not differentiable. And again here h is a very small quantity. So the concept of differentiability will more clear if we go with one question, and that question is related with exercise 5.2, question number 9. So I am taking one question here related with exercise 5.2, and the question is if fx equals to modulus x minus 1, where x belongs to R, then we have to show it is differentiable or not at x equals to 1. So how can we will show it? So as we know that function is differentiable when RHD and LHD both are equal, otherwise it is not differentiable. So first we will go with the right hand derivative, and the value of right hand derivative is equals to limit h approaches to 0 f x plus h, and here the value of x is 1 plus h minus f1 upon h. So limit h approaches to 0 f1 plus h. So f1 plus h we will calculate with the given function. So it can be written as in modulus 1 plus h plus 1, and f1 again we will solve from here 1 minus 1 upon h. Now we will solve it. 1 and 1 cancel, both are in opposite symbol, and when we will calculate this, it becomes limit h approaches to 0 2 plus h upon h. We will correct it. We will write here minus sign. It is not plus, it is minus. So we will get 0 plus h. Okay. So when we will solve it, limit h approaches to 0 modulus h upon h, and when we solve it, modulus h means h, and we will get 1. Okay. So this is the way of solving right hand limit, right hand derivative. Now we will continue with the left hand derivative. So left hand derivative is only little bit change is there. That is, we will write here 1 minus h. Here we will write minus. So in right hand derivative, the value is 1. But let me check what happened when we will go with the left hand derivative. So limit h approaches to 0. So again, how can we will calculate f1 minus h? With the help of given function. So it can be written as 1 minus h minus 1, f1 again same 1 minus 1 upon minus h. So limit h approaches to 0, 1 and 1 both will cancel, 1 and 1 will cancel. So we'll get minus h in modulus upon minus h. So it can be written as limit h approaches to 0. This is modulus minus h, and the value of modulus minus h is positive h always, that is the absolute value. This is minus h, and when we will solve it, we will get minus 1. So it means we can say the value of right hand derivative is 1 and the value of left hand derivative is minus 1. It means we can say right hand derivative is not equals to left hand derivative. This is 1 and that is minus 1, both are not equal. Therefore we can say, therefore given function is not differentiable at x equals to 1. If both are equal, then we can say it is differentiable, otherwise it is not differentiable at a given point. So this is the way of solving the question which is related with the differentiability. Again I am repeating, RHD for right hand derivative and LHD for the left hand derivative. If both are equal, then the given function is differentiable, otherwise it is not differentiable. Now I am continuing with the next concept, and the next concept is algebra of derivatives. So under this heading we will include some formulas which is related with the algebra of derivatives. So the first formula is dy dx of u plus v. It can be written as du upon dx plus dv upon dx. If we are taking minus sign here, again minus sign will come. It means it can be written as u plus minus v dash dash for differentiation or single differentiation, and du upon dx can be written as u dash plus minus v dash. If we continue with the next point, that is your product rule, and under product rule we will write dy dx of u into v, and it can be written as u as it is d by dx of v plus v as it is d by dx of u. So we can say uv whole dash, this is equals to u v dash plus v u dash. So this is also known as first into second function in differentiation. Now we will continue with the third formula related with algebra of derivatives. So the third formula is d by dx of u upon v, and this is equals to v square in denominator, v as it is d by dx of u, u as it is d by dx of v, and it can also be written as whole dash of u upon v, this is equals to again v square in denominator, v as it is d by dx of u can be written as u dash minus u as it is, and d by dx of v can be written as v dash, and it is known as quotient rule, where we can say v not equals to 0. So these three formulas are related with algebra of derivatives. Now I am continuing with derivative of some standard function, and this was in 11th class also. So the next concept is derivatives of some standard function. So under this heading I will include some formulas. So the first formula is d by dx of x raised to the power n. It can be written as n into x raised to the power n minus 1. Second formula is d by dx of sin x. This is equals to cos x. Third formula is d by dx of cos x. This is equals to minus sin x. Fourth formula is d by dx of tan x. This is equals to sec square x. Fifth formula d by dx of cot x. This is equals to cosec square x. And then sixth formula is d by dx of sec x. This is equals to sec x into tan x. And then seventh number is d by dx of cosec x. This is equals to minus cosec x into cot x. Number 8th formula d by dx of log x. This is equals to 1 upon x. 9 d by dx of e raised to the power x. It becomes e raised to the power x. And the 10th formula is d by dx of a raised to the power x, which is also known as the exponential function, and this is also the exponential function, and the formula of a raised to the power x is a raised to the power x log base e into a. So these are some formula related with derivatives of some standard functions. If these formulas are clear to us, then we will solve any question which is related with the differentiation. When we will solve the question, we will use these formulas again and again. Now I am continuing with next concept, that is derivatives of composite functions. So the next concept is derivatives of composite function. So first I want to tell what is the meaning of composite functions. The meaning of composite function means it includes, you can say, for example, y equals to 2x plus 1 whole cube. More than one function we can say. It is a bracket functions also. As you see in this example, x and then 1. X is algebraic function and 1 is constant function, and here we are using plus sign or minus sign. So that type of function is known as
composite function. So how can we will do the derivative of this type of functions? So we will write d by dx both the sides, and it is the whole cube of 2x plus 1, so that we will go with the binomial theorem, or we know very well as per the lower class, whole cube of a plus b, this is equals to a cube plus b cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square. If we apply this formula here, it can be written as d by dx of whole cube of 2x is 8x cube, whole cube of 1 is 1, then 3a square b, it means a is 2x and b is 1. So when we will apply here, it becomes 3 into 4x square, that is 12x square, then plus sign, then 3a square b, this is a, this is b, so it becomes 6x. Now we will continue with the differentiation of this. So dy by dx equals to, we will take here 8 outside the bracket because it is constant quantity, and do the differentiation of variable. D by dx of 1, 12 is constant quantity, again 6 is constant quantity, and this is purely, you can say, constant, so it becomes 0. And when we will do the differentiation, d by dx of x cube is 3x square, d by dx of constant is totally 0, then 12 as it is, d by dx of x square is 2x plus 6 into 1. So when we will solve it, what we will get? We will get 24x square plus 24x plus 6. After this, what we will do? After this, we can say we will take common 6, so it becomes 4x square plus 4x plus 1, and we will get 6. This is the whole square of 2x plus 1. So this is the way of solving the composite function, or we can say this is the procedure for the derivation of composite function. After composite function, we will continue with one more method, that is known as chain rule, one of the important method. So what is the meaning of chain rule? We can say if y is the function of u and u is the function of x, then we can say dy by dx equals to dy upon du into du upon dx. So this is the formula related with chain rule. Again I am repeating, if y is the function of u and u is the function of x, then we can say dy by dx equals to dy by du into du upon dx. Now I am taking one example here. With the help of this example, the concept of chain rule will be more clear. So if y equals to sine x square plus 5, then how can we will find dy by dx with the help of chain rule? So how can we will start? Let x square plus 5, this is equals to u, then we can say y equals to sine u. Now we will come to the formula dy by dx of chain rule. Dy by dx, this is equals to dy upon du into du upon dx. So from here we will calculate du upon dx, this is equals to 2x if we solve it, and the value of dy by du we will solve from here, it becomes cos u, and if we put the value of u, that is equals to x square plus 5. So when we will put the value here, what we will get? When we will put the value here, we can say d by dx of given function, put the value of y, we'll put the value of dy by du. The value of dy by du is cos x square plus 5 into, put the value of du upon dx. The value of du upon dx is 2x, and when we will rearrange it, we will get 2x into cos x square plus 5. So this is the differentiation of given function by chain rule. And one alternate method is also there. If we not want to go with the chain rule, then how can we will solve same question by the another method? So what is the alternate method? So alternate method is, we are taking the same question, y equals to sine x square plus 5. So how can we will do the differentiation with the help of alternate method? We will write d by dx both the side. So as I told earlier, d by dx of sin x is cos x. So it can be done as d by dx of, when we will do this function, so it can be done as cos x square plus 5 into d by dx of x square plus 5. And here if we want to write into d by dx, then it is also right. What we will do here only we will replace x by x square plus 5. We will not change d by dx because it is the differentiation operator. So we will change only x, this one and this one. So after this, when we will continue with this, it remains same, and here we will go with the algebra of derivatives. So it can be done as d by dx of x square plus d by dx of 5. And when we will solve it, it becomes cos x square plus 5 into d by dx of x square is 2x plus 0, and it can be done as 2x into cos x square plus 5. So if we solve the question by chain rule or by alternate method, both are correct, but I think the alternate method is one of the best method. If you solve the question related with the differentiation, then you will easily get the answer. Now I am continuing with one more concept related with the chain rule. If y is the function of u and u is the function of v, and v is the function of x, right? Then we can say dy by dx, this is equals to dy by du into du upon dv into dv upon dx. So the above rule can be extended to any number of function. So I am taking again one example here. Find dy by dx of, we can say sec tan under root x. If this type of function is given, then how can we will calculate dy by dx with the help of chain rule? This is the another form of chain rule. So how can we will start? Let under root x as v. Okay, then tan under root x we will write as tan v, and let this is u. Okay, then we can say y equals to sec as it is, and tan under root x is tan v, and this is equals to u. It means y equals to sec u. After this, we will continue with the concept of chain rule. So what we will do here, we will write down the formula dy by dx equals to dy by du into du upon dv into dv upon dx. So how can we will calculate dy by du? we will calculate dy by du from here. So dy by du, this is equals to differentiation of sec u is sec u tan u. Okay, and if we put the value of u here, so what it becomes? Sec, and the value of u is tan under root x. So we will write here tan under root x, then tan. Again we will put the value of u, and the value of u is tan under root x. So we will write here tan under root x. This is dy by du. We will put here. Now we will calculate du upon dv. Du upon dv we will calculate from here. So what is the value of du upon dv? This is equals to sec square v. Then we will calculate du upon dv. This is equals to sec square v, and the value of v is under root x. So we will write here sec square under root x. Now we will calculate dv upon dx. dv upon dx we will calculate from here. So the value of dv upon dx is 1 upon 2 under root x. Now we will put all the values here. So what will come? The value of dy by du, this is equals to sec tan under root x tan under root x. After this we will put the value of du upon dv. The value of du upon dv is sec square under root x. After this we will put the value of dv upon dx, that is 1 upon 2 under root x. Now we will rearrange it. So we can say d by dx of given function will be sec square under root x into sec tan under root x tan under root x upon 2 under root x. So this question we solve with the help of chain rule. Now I am solving the same question with the help of alternate method, because as I said, alternate method is best. It means not the chain rule is not best. It depends on you. You want to continue with the chain rule or from this alternate method. So same question I will do with the help of alternate method, and same answer we will get. So I am continuing with the alternate method. So what was the question? Question is y equals to sec tan under root x. We have to find the derivative of this function. So what we will do? We will write d by dx both the side. Okay. So what is the differentiation of sec x? As I told earlier, it becomes sec x into tan x, or it is better if we write here d by ds of x, because we know very well d by ds of x is also 1. So what we will do here, again we will change, you can say again we will change this x by tan under root x. So if we put here, it becomes dy by dx equals to, as per that formula, sec, what is the value of x? That is tan under root x, then tan, again put the value of x, tan under root x into d by dx of tan under root x. Right. After this, sec tan under root x as it is, tan under root x as it is. What is the differentiation of tan under root x? As we know very well, d by dx of tan x, this is equals to sec square x into d by ds of x. So what we will do here, x is replaced by under root x. Okay. So after this we can say it can be written as sec square under root x. This x is replaced by this x is and this x is replaced by x under root x, so it becomes sec square under root x into d by dx of under root x. And when we will continue with the this step, what we will get, we can say d by dx of given function, it can be written as sec tan under root x into tan under root x into sec square under root x as it is, into d by dx of under root x is 1 upon 2 under root x. Now after this we will rearrange it and we will get the answer, which is similar to our previous answer. So we will get sec square under root x into sec tan under root x tan under root x upon 2 under root x. So you solve the question with the help of chain rule or by the alternate method. It depends on you. In both the method you will get the same answer. So I hope with the help of today's discussion we will solve the question which is related with the chain rule. Thank you very much.